So that's okay. All right. So so you guys really just need to, why don't you guys move over a little bit so you're not, Jonathan, you're not in the light there and people can see you, and we're making it hard for Doug. So just stand there. You know what I'm going to do is, and for all of you concrete people, I'm going to talk to both of them as if I'm child welfare. They're standing there together. This is not how we would do it in real life. I wouldn't have this conversation with them together. It doesn't make sense to send Jonathan out of the room so I could talk to Ruby. So just assume you'll get it, what I'm talking about. And assume that I'm going to give you two scenarios. And one is I won't say anything more. I'm going to give you two scenarios. And basically, I've got a case. I'm child welfare. I'm coming to meet with Ruby and Jonathan about a case. I've gotten a report that Jonathan was violent to Ruby. The kids were present. And that's why I'm going out to the home. And I want to give you one scenario and give you another scenario. And you guys are going to get to comment, and you guys will get to talk about how it felt to be props. So scenario one looks something like this. I'm coming out, and I'm going to approach Ruby and say to Ruby, we got a report around some violence. Want to tell you that we really expect you to keep the kids safe. We really want you to look into getting a court order, maintaining an order so that Jonathan's not in the home. Can't really tell you when Jonathan can come back to the house. Really want to make sure the kids are not exposed to any more violence. Really going to look to you to make sure that that happens. If we come back and I come back to the home, because I'm going to do some home visits for a while, and Jonathan's there, I'm going to really look at why you didn't keep him out of the house. I'm really going to try to, sort of expect you to really make sure he's not around the kids aren't exposed to any more violence. And that's what we really want from you. I'm going to want you to sign an agreement that you agree to these things before I leave. And if you're not willing to do that, I need to go back to my supervisor and discuss next steps. Jonathan, we want you to leave. We don't want you to be around the kids. And could you just please go? So that's what we'd like you, Jonathan. Okay. That's scenario one. Okay, that's scenario one. I'll give you scenario two. I come out, same setup, same situation. Come out and say to Jonathan, we've had a report related to your violence. I know that you were arrested a couple of days ago. Want to talk to you about your behavior, your violence. Want to hear you describe what you did, what you think the impact is on your children and your family, on Ruby. And want to talk to you about what you might be willing to do to keep the kids safe. Okay, so that's what I'd like to talk to you about. Ruby, I've worked with a lot of families where there's been violence like that Jonathan's engaged in. I want to tell you that we're concerned for your safety and the safety of your kids. I'm going to make some assumptions from the families I worked before that you've probably been doing some stuff to keep yourself and the kids safe that I'd love to hear about and try to understand, so maybe I can help and support you in your safety and the safety of the kids. But that's the way I want to work with you. And so really, that's the approach I'm going to take. So that's scenario two. Thank you very much. You guys did a great job. They were the best props I've ever had for this. And I'm going to ask you in a minute if you had some different experiences, but so I'll get your feedback, because you may have felt different things. When I do this, even though it's role-playing, without you guys really role-playing. So anyway, so what's the difference? And kind of shout out, what's the difference between scenario one and scenario two? What?
You're trying to engage them and get the story rather than, I feel people like when you're a caseworker, people already feel intimidated by you.
Right.
Like, I want you out of the home, I want your children to be safe, but you're not engaging them.
So in scenario two, you feel like I engaged both of them more.
Right.
Okay, both of them more. And I was more interested in hearing from both of them what happened. So there's more engagement with both of them. I'm going to learn more about what's going on in the family. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. Yeah, what else?
You began with the focus on him, the perpetrator.
So I mean, why does that matter? I mean, seriously, why does that matter?
Just so that she didn't feel blamed for what was going on. And you're holding him accountable for his actions.
So in the first scenario, the second scenario, I held him, but didn't I kick him out in the first one? Isn't it holding him accountable?
No.
It's ignoring him. It's ignoring him. Okay. It's ignoring him. And also you said that I focused on him. Why is that important?
Because you didn't start right with her and make her feel like it was all her fault and all up to her.
So she may experience something different when that much focus is on him versus on her. Okay, so she may experience child welfare's involvement in her life differently. Okay, maybe not. Yeah.
She's the expert in her life.
Okay.
You can't go in and assume that you are. So in the second one, by asking her what she's already doing and what's working for her and how she's keeping the family safe, you're taking her expertise and building on that.
Okay. So we know, and this is, you know, the really one of the major strengths of the battered women's movement and the grassroots nature of it is you'll hear over and over again from people say, we're not the experts in her life, she's the expert in her life. She's the one that's been living with this batter. She's the one who's made effort to try to be safe. She's the one who's learned the lessons of what worked and hasn't worked. We need to listen to her if we're going to do good advocacy. Why is listening to her good child welfare practice? Bring that to the next level, though. You're right. But I want to make the overt connection. Why is treating her like she's the expert in safety, expert in that she's got strengths, why is that good child-serving practice?
Bottom line, she is the one who's going to have to keep kids safe.
Bottom line, she has a responsibility around the safety of the kids.
Kids are going to be with her.
Well, then we may want to keep them with her. Okay, so keep going with this. What?
She knows what's going to work to keep her kids safe.
Right.
As opposed to us trying to tell her, these are what you have to do, because she may have tried them in the past and they weren't successful. You know, her story is going to tell us what's going to work so that we can then engage him or her to follow along with that to keep kids safe.
So if I'm understanding you, and I've got a bunch of hands up, that what if again, looking at this for a second from a child welfare point of view, if we don't listen to her, we're more likely to put her and the kids in danger. Okay, so that's one of the key parts of this. Again, if you're looking at kid safety, and some people in this room have to look through that lens by statute and policy and practice, then not trying to understand what she's tried to do, not trying to understand her strengths, means you're more likely to put her and the kids in greater danger by insisting on a plan that she may have tried and may have failed, or may actually put her and the kids at greater danger.